Hello everyone and welcome back to Do You Cook English? As usual, we're back at the beautiful Château de la Masure where we're going to cook a pineapple upside down cake, which is a very popular recipe in England. However, first, let's have a quick look at the grammar rule. This is the one we're looking at today, which is the relatives, which I will also explain to you in more detail now. Relative pronouns: who, which, whose, that. They introduce a new sentence attached to a noun. Who is the subject for people. For example, my mother, who is in England, will call me tonight. Which is the subject for things. For example, the house which is near the river is mine. Who is the complement for people. For example, the person you are talking about is my boss. Which is the complement for things. For example, the house which they bought a year ago is nice. Important. Here is a golden rule. You keep the preposition after the verb. For example, the chef who you are thinking of, the clients who you are writing to, the tools which you worked with yesterday. It's important to note it can be removed when there is a subject for the following verb. For example, the man who I talked to yesterday. The man I talked to yesterday. Whose. The noun group, singular or plural, comes right after whose. For example, Peter, whose office is on the 5th floor, is waiting for you. My father, whose cars are in the garage. Where. When needed. For example, the flat where we live is quite big. There is somebody here who I would like to introduce you to today. This is Yannick, who you may have already met, who is with us today from the Cercle Culinaire de France. This is where there are a lot of chefs whose culinary talents are pretty undeniable. So hello Yannick.
Hello Anna.
Pleased to have you here with us again. So it's great being here with people who really enjoy cooking, like Yannick, especially when the recipe is one that I absolutely love. That is the reason why you're here with us today, Yannick. First, let's make the topping for the cake, which is the easiest part of the recipe. You mix the butter and the brown sugar into a creamy mixture. Now spread that in the tin you are using for the cake, but don't forget the sides, which are very important. Now you take the pineapple rings, which are used in this cake, and lay them at the bottom of the tin, whose base should be completely covered by now. Remember to save the juice, which we will use later. The chef, whose recipe this is, says that the next step is to beat the eggs with the rest of the sugar in a bowl, which should be quite large. Add the flour with the bicarbonate of soda and the baking powder already added, plus a pinch of salt. This is when we add the crème fraîche and the rest of the butter, which should not be too chilled. We now beat it until smooth and creamy. Finally, this is when we stir in 2 tablespoons of the pineapple juice, which is crucial. Now we pour in the cake mix, which is delicious to eat even uncooked. We pour the cake mix on top of the pineapple, which is laid on the bottom. Smooth the top off and put into the oven where it cooks for about 30 minutes. Check it after 20 minutes. If it looks too brown, which may be possible, just cover it with some tin foil, which I'm sure you already know. You will see when the cake is cooked, so remove it from the oven, which can now be switched off. Now leave to rest for about 10 minutes, which should be plenty of time. Then remove it from the tin and put it on the plate that you have chosen. Hey, Yannick! Looking good, Yannick, looking good. So here's the cake we made today, and doesn't it look great? People working here today, including myself, are all going to be very happy. So here we are at the end of another episode of Do You Cook English, which I'm sure is helping you to improve your English whilst cooking recipes that you and your family will enjoy eating. So, end of the recipe, 1, 2, 3, Yannick.
Bon appétit.
Bon appétit.